Hey you guys, it's January 18th and I'm going to be talking about my day on my detox journey. So last night, those who watched last night, remember I said I was going to do my hair. I had grand ideas and I did nothing. I have all these little braids in my head and I just stuck my beanie on and it's silk lined inside, so it's really nice. I'll probably just leave it like this for the week. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I went out with my friend today. It was a nice visit. I hadn't seen her in a while. There was a lot of people out today. It was a holiday here in the United States. Martin Luther King Day observation. So everybody was off. Most people were off. Restaurants were completely crowded. We went to a diner and I brought my juice with me. I did plan on having something. I just wasn't sure what yet. I figured I'd worry about that when I got there. But I was thinking that I just have some, this particular diner has sourdough bread. So I was going to have just some sourdough toast. But I ended up not having that because they were so packed that we ended up going somewhere else. And I had some onion rings. I forgot what they were called for a minute. Onion rings. 4 onion rings. And I was completely exhausted. Completely exhausted. Yeah, 4 onion rings. So, battered, fried onion rings. 4 of them. And yeah, I was pretty exhausted. So, on my way home, I got a book that I've been wanting to read because I've been staying away from social media as much so that I can get back to my own routines and read more and watch educational videos and things like that, and just like hone in on what I'm doing and stay present in what I'm doing, so that although I won't even call them mistakes, although I will eat things from time to time that aren't the best, I don't want to go overboard and gorge on food or things like that. So I'm trying to continue my education on that type of stuff. So I got The Grape Cure today. And I hadn't mentioned before, but my mom she has cervical cancer, and she's going to be starting radiation and chemotherapy soon. Obviously, I'm not in agreement with that, but it's not my life, it's her health, and she has to make her own decisions. I can tell her what I think is best, but ultimately it has to be something that she's going to do on her own and she's going to stick to. And, all the crazy things that I try all the time, a lot of people in my family don't take it seriously because I am always trying different things, seeing what I like, what I don't like. Even if it's something that I like fasting, I don't stick with it all the time. So I understand people not wanting to follow what I'm doing or take it seriously, because to an outsider looking in, I seemingly don't always take it seriously. So she has to do what's best for her. I can just give her the information. She has to make her own decisions. So I'm reading this book, The Grape Cure. I started it today, and I'm going to recommend it to her. She is also a reader, so that's where I get my love of reading from. So I'm going to buy her a copy, but I wanted to read it first just to make sure that it is something that she would be open to, because it doesn't make sense to give her the book if she's not going to be receptive to it. So I wanted to start reading it first, and I stopped at a part that I wanted to read to you guys, because this is like 57 pages in, and it's like talking to me. It says, "Another thing to remember is that cooked food takes much longer time to digest than raw. No more food should be taken within 5 or 6 hours after the cooked food meal. No strenuous work should be done, and it is especially recommended to refrain from every form of brain work immediately following such a meal. Keep the cooked and uncooked foods apart. In the process of digestion, nature always disposes of the most digestible foods first. If you have made the mistake of mixing raw foods with the cooked food, the raw will digest first, while the rest of the conglomeration will ferment. A dry meal, no soups, no liquids of any kind, no raw fruits or no raw food salads, no fruits either fresh or any other food should be eaten after cooked food. And I have to say, I did say in my other video that I had a couple bites of some cooked food when my family was here, maybe day 7 or 8, somewhere in there, and then how exhausted I was after. Since then, I've been doing a lot of raw salads or big bowls of fruit, things like that to eat. So now today, I had the onion rings, and again, exhausted. Like, I ate the 4 onion rings. We're sitting there. We were there like 2 hours. Maybe we were together about 2 hours. About 20 minutes after eating the 4 onion rings, I was sitting at the table like feeling sluggish, and it was like, I felt it like come over me. And I'm like, food really talks to you if you pay attention. It's information. I've read that so many times, like food is information, and it is. It's telling your body something, and you have to pay attention to it. And I was exhausted, and I came home and took a nap, an 1.5-hour nap for 4 onion rings. So then it starts making you think. I mean, although we're already thinking, right? That's why we're here. We're already questioning things and experimenting and trying things. And it's like, those 4 onion rings were really good. But what did it really do to my body? Because it was taxing that I needed to come home and take an 1.5-hour nap. And so you have to start weighing the cost. We have to weigh the cost. Every time we put something in our mouths, we're gambling. Either we're gonna gamble, either we're gonna have a sure thing, or we're gonna gamble. That's the thing. And onion rings are a gamble. A raw salad is a sure thing. So those are the things that I'm thinking about and starting to really like put into action, and having those light bulb moments, like, because some things you know, and then it's like, okay, but how does it relate in real life? Like, how does this really relate to what I'm trying to do every day? Because you can read all the books, watch all the videos, intellectually comprehend it, but then when you have to put it into action, that's something different. That's where you really know. And it goes down to that thing where, like, you know, you can know something, but you don't really know it until you have to teach it. And I'm my own teacher and student. And I want to be there for my family and for my mom. And I can't say, Mom, you should do this and you should do that, when I don't do the same. I may not have the scary diagnosis right now, but I read something or watched something once where it said, we're all dying, whether you have a scary diagnosis or not. We have stuff brewing inside of us that just hasn't been diagnosed yet, or have come up yet, or has become life-threatening yet. We all have stuff going on inside of us at all the time. And you can either wait for that diagnosis to get serious about yourself, or try to cut it off at the path so that it doesn't inflame and become worse. And I'm learning every day, like, okay, I ate those stupid onion rings. Like, I really wanted them, and they were delicious, but I lost an 1.5 hours of my life sleeping on my day off from work, when I could have been out on a walk, or doing something cool, or reading, or watching something fun. An hour and a half of my life. So 4 onion rings minus an 1.5 hours of my life. And it may not seem like it needs to be that extreme, or somebody might roll their eyes at what I'm saying or whatever, and that's fine. But you have to equate things to where it's relatable for you, and how it helps you to move forward and not make that same decision again. And I won't say mistake, because I don't consider it a mistake. I intentionally ate them. I knew what I was ordering. I planned for not having something like that. But then our plans changed. We went to another place, and I know their onion rings are delicious, and I put myself in a situation. Ron used to always say to me, like when we were dating, excuse me, when we were dating, that we should never put ourselves in situations. And I put myself in a situation. I'm drinking a bunch of leftovers. This is a couple of clementines, couple of oranges, some green grapes, and a half a lime. Oh, and like the core of a pineapple. This is good. It's a smorgasbord. It's delicious. So that was the only thing today. Oh, and I am on my menstrual cycle. Today is day 1, which is another reason why I wanted that greasy, fried, crispy food. It's all habits, right? Our bodies crave certain things at different times of the month based on what we've done in the past, and what it's like cell memory. I like those greasy, crunchy things when I'm on my period. Some people want chocolate. Some people want like fried, greasy foods. And, you know, it's that cell memory and that brain memory and that habit. It's like, this is good. I want it. So that was another thing. So I wrote some things down because I wanted to talk about my cycle. So for the past 3 months, now some of you may know or may not know that I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Excuse me. Sorry. So it's a hormonal metabolic disorder. And the past 3 months, I have had very dark period blood for the whole 5 days. Now, unlike a lot of people who have PCOS, I've never not gotten my period, and it's always regular. And it's 5 days, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, but for the past 3 months, it's been a little so it's been coming between 28 to 35 days, as opposed to the 28 to like 31 days. And it's been very dark to the point where I was like, maybe I should go to an OBGYN. And I haven't been to one in almost 3 years. I was like, maybe I should go and get this checked out, especially my mom having cervical cancer. This is a little, I need to go maybe look at this. But with what I've been doing here now, paying attention to what I'm eating, I'm not having meat, I really just like really stopped having cheese about 3 months ago. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just play this out and see what happens, because you know, I just want to see what happens. So the last 3 months, it's been really dark, like almost black. And so I looked that up, and it said that it's old, stagnant blood. This happens to people who have fibroids, which I do, and liver and kidney stagnation. So I was like, okay. Now today, my period started, and I thought it was going to be brown again or black, and it was bright red, and that is more ideal. So I'm like, okay, this is good. Fresh blood, clean blood is coming out, and I think that that's a good sign. And so I looked it up, and it said that crimson or bright to crimson blood is on the normal side, and the brighter red means that you have like an estrogen overload, which I do. I'm estrogen dominant, which is why I switched. We don't use any plastic food containers. I take that back. I do use plastic food containers to soak and clean my grapes, but I am going to switch that over to some glass bowls. But we don't have any plastic cups in the house, no plastic spoons. We don't use plastic otherwise because of the estrogen dominance. So that's an indicator. The blood color is an indicator that I'm going in the right direction. I'm happy about that. So just seeing all the positive things happen, that definitely helps you to keep going. I know that Burns always says that you're not going to always see things happening all the time. You're not going to always just see it. It's not going to always just be like right there. But when it is, that is like validation that although I'm stumbling along the way, or you know, figuring things out, and, you know, I'm still on the right track and I'm still doing the right things. Oh, and today I was carrying around my worry stone today. I showed you guys before, but it's so pretty, isn't it? It's so smooth, and I don't know if you can tell, it has this indentation right here, so you can like rub your finger on it. And it's just a nice little thing because I'm a fidgeter, and this is a nice little thing to hold and to concentrate on, like when I'm just sitting watching TV or meditating or relaxing. It's just nice to hold it, and it's cool to the touch. I really like it. So anyway, that was it for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.